Hi, welcome. I want to begin by just thanking you for showing up for yourself. It's a busy afternoon. There's a lot going on in the world. There's always TikTok. and yet, and yet here you are for yourself. And I'm so thrilled. So I just want to um, tell you how much I appreciate you doing that for yourself and your company here today. So if you would, please just land with me in this space. And if you're able, please just put one hand on your heart and one on your belly and just feel into this moment. Arrive. I can feel my heart beating a little faster. Small wonder. And, but yeah, just to tune in. Yes, 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 yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm so happy you're here. Let's begin, shall we? Um, okay, so we see the ocean in front of us, this threshold moment. Um, this isn't just another day today, March 30th. It's 2012. This moment is a threshold. For the past 13 years, Neptune has been dissolving boundaries in Pisces. It rules the sign of Pisces. We've wandered. We have surrendered much. We've touched other realms in dreams and art, in sorrow, in silence. The tides of this water sign have definitely softened us. But now the tide turns when the question is no longer, not nearly as much, what do I release? It becomes, what do I create? The old world is dissolving right before our eyes, and we get to co-create something beautiful, meaningful, functional for ourselves, our children, our descendants, for the world around us. 2025 is our epic year of transformation, and we get to participate in it. On March 29th, just yesterday, we had a solar eclipse at 9 degrees of Aries. And then this morning, Neptune crossed the world axis and it entered Aries for the first time in over 165 years. Just yesterday, we had our eclipse. The eclipse seals a moment. It marks a turning point. We're now on the other side of that window, changed, activated. What's longing inside you to be birthed into reality? I got my slides wrong. But what's longing to be birthed inside you to become reality? More, this the dreamy ideas, inclinations, and what's longing to become reality. This presentation is incredibly personal for me. I feel this shift in my bones. I feel it in my soul. And you must be too if you're watching this now. I have no doubt. It's not just Neptune moving into Aries isn't just another transit. We're always having transits. We will always have transits. It's a strike of the cosmic bell, like when grand church bells toll noon. You feel it in your body. It moves through you. You pay attention. Something is resounding through you, and that's what we're feeling right now. And it's good. Something has changed. So, just so you know, I'm not here to lecture. I'm here to walk with you, to explore, to name what I feel, to see, to witness what rises in you. Let's do this together. By the end of this experience, hopefully, you will feel less lost, more lit up, less adrift and more on fire in a good, sustainable, wholesome way, with much greater focus and clarity, reconnected to your own North Star. Let's begin. Neptune enters Aries, a historical perspective. Every time Neptune enters Aries, it ignites a revolution, not only politically, but spiritually, culturally, and personally. It marks a cycle where imagination meets will, where divine vision asks for embodiment, doing something with it. When we look back, we will feel the echoes of this moment. On March 25th, and yes, I'm extemporizing here, but on May 25th of this year, Saturn enters Aries, and that will really put some structure into this. But it begins now. So as I share these 5 historical portals in time, allow them to land in your body. Notice what rises, a sensation, perhaps a memory, a moment, and jot it down for yourself. Let yourself respond, share in the comments. These stories are activations, they're clues, they're doorways. They're like those church bells ringing that it kind of just move. If you're close by, it moves through you. You feel it inside you. And that's an activation to be moved on. So there was the American Civil War almost to the day. Picture it. Charleston, South Carolina, December 1860. Gas lamps flicker in a room of stone and shadows. Tension coils in the air. One by one, delegates take up a pen. The ink is still wet as South Carolina declares its secession. In April 12th, 1861, the first cannon fires over Charleston Harbor. The war begins. April 9th, 1865, at Appomattox, General Lee surrenders. The war ends. The 13th Amendment abolishes slavery. Millions of people are freed legally without reparations, without homes, without formal educations. Many were illiterate by design to keep them disadvantaged, without protection. Still, they stepped into a new world. Others who'd fought in the war, who were less fortunate, limped homeward to homes that might or might not exist anymore. Everyone had to reinvent themselves, their lives. So, what limitations of family or imposed patterns are you ready to dissolve? What legendary what's next are you longing to inhabit? This is the time. So, historical portal number 2, Japan's Meiji invasion, the tides of change. It's July 1853. The dissolution. 4 black ships, steamships, drift like omens into the Tokyo Bay, steam-powered and silent as ghosts. Commodore Matthew Perry arrives with the message, "Open your gates, or we'll open them for you." They'd never seen a steamship. So, huge, shocking moment. By the way, we're in a moment where we're going to see we may have visitors from somewhere very different, somewhere very unexpected. And hopefully it won't be like this event for the Japanese, but a lot of good came out of it. By 1868, the samurai era ends. Swords are outlawed. The emperor is restored, and a new era is birthed. Now, I'm going to bring you back to this point about the emperor being restored because it's ringing a bell, and I want to pay attention to that. A new era is birthed. Within one generation, Japan transforms into a global power. Oh, phooey. I need the next slide to come up. I think I've made a mistake, y'all. Okay, there it is. Yeah, what part of your identity feels outdated but hard to release? Hi. Where are you being called to modernize, even if it's uncomfortable? Let's see. Okay. So here we have historical portal number 3, Italy's unification, the red shirts, and the call to destiny. It's May 1860. 1,000 men in crimson shirts land on a Sicilian shore led by Garibaldi. Outnumbered 20-1, they move with destiny, with a unified vision for a kind of democracy. It was a populist movement. It was, the people were fully supported, because I can tell you that on September 7th of 1860, Naples falls without a shot because the people were fully supportive. And the Bourbons, the Bourbons, aka an American, had been controlling the region. Italy was separate regions. It did not have, they had different dialects, they had different governance. And the French had been kind of administering it, but there was no unified country of Italy as we know it today. And they wanted democracy. They'd seen the American Revolution, they'd seen the French Revolution. They're thinking, you know what? I'd kind of like some of that democracy. Yes, I would. And so they're fully supportive of Garibaldi. It's a glorious moment. But wait, there's more. So March 17th, 1861, suddenly a man seizes power in that wobbly, the kind of moment we're in now. It's a wobbly moment where old structures are crumbling and there's the ability to create something new or to seize power. And because when structures are firmed up and fully functioning, they're safeguarded. So a man seizes power in that wobbly moment and declares himself king over this newly unified Italy. Garibaldi blesses the event. Italy becomes a monarchy overnight, upsetting the expectations of the common people. And I'll tell you that the southern Italians didn't do nearly so well. They emerged as kind of second-class citizens. No wonder so many of them, including some of my ancestors, immigrated to the United States, where there was more opportunity. More about that another time. So, what surprising part of you on a soul level, what is longing to show up at last? Well, historical portal number 4, the Industrial Revolution. It's 1860s. Steam engines, steel revolutionizes the world. Cables are laid under the sea. London to New York communication in minutes instead of weeks. Things happen so much faster. Progress roars forward, but something within quietly begins to fade. Where in your life have you been feeling rushed? When's the last time you took a little break from social media? Maybe put some hours around it. Do we have to know everything that's happening in the news all the time? I don't know about you, but I'm much more powerful and effective managing my own life and showing up for myself and as myself as fully as I can. And I believe that when we do that, I believe that we are enormously powerful, each one of us. And the way that we show up for ourselves and in our lives is there's this wonderful ripple effect, and it's extraordinarily powerful. But here's a fun one. So along with, well, phooey. Also in the 1860s, there was a rise in all kinds of new and old ideas of spirituality, like old ideas reinterpreted into very new expressions. And with this increase in communication, people were able to look at traditions from Egypt, from India. People in the West were able to look at these things and integrate and reinterpret and maybe just make some stuff up. Who's to say? Not everything that we hear about. My light just turned off. That's hilarious. I don't think I charged it fully. That is kind of hilarious timing. But yeah, in drawing rooms and parlor circles across the US and abroad, spiritualism surged. Mediums channeled the voices of soldiers who had just died. Families who lost sons and fathers in the war turned to seances for comfort, for closure, for answers the church could not provide. I'm just going to stop right here and tell you that I do believe we are fully able to pick up different frequencies, if you will. And I don't find anything hocus pocus about it. I think it's like hundreds of years ago, women were put to death for washing their hands before attending childbirth. Midwives, they just had a tradition around it. They weren't familiar with germ theory, as far as I know, but they were put to death because they were getting better results because they washed their hands. So, and then years later, we have germ theory, and here we are. And I'm absolutely convinced that one day it will be measured. Oh, we can tune into different frequencies. Oh, there is telepathy. Oh, and it's just going to be like, so what? Of course. And we'll learn to develop it more. But I just don't find anything hocus pocus about it at all. Now, there are plenty of charlatans as well. So it takes discernment. But spiritualism wasn't a fringe practice. A lot of people used it as a grief ritual for a shattered nation. And it's interesting to me that at this time, there has been so much division, mainly according to how people get their news. I believe the best in everybody. I think any of us, if we were exposed to the same sorts of information on a regular basis, might have different viewpoints. My own viewpoints throughout my lifetime have changed very much as I've become more educated. But yeah, I'm just going to leave that there. But I have great faith in humanity. I do. No, I really do. So, and at the same time as this spiritualistic thing, in the boogity, I almost said massage parlors, seance places, there were religious revivals and army camps, rural churches. The line between faith and fervor blurred. And we did cover what might have been authentic and what might have been just baloney done by con people. And there are plenty of those. Another thing is that theosophy was still a decade away, but the soil was definitely being tilled. What began as an emotional and spiritual improvisation would grow into formal mystical systems. Neptune and Aries lit a match. What people believed had to be lived, fought for, and experienced directly. That's Aries energy. So in these crazy times, crazy feeling times, where do you place your trust? What part of your spiritual path is asking you to show up, not just think about it, plan, get more educated, which I've been I'm good at that. Oh, okay. So My camera just blinked at me. I have no idea why. All right. So this is fun. A friend of mine, well, not all enlightenment, though those who promise enlightenment bring light. My co-conspirator and I are hosting a fresh podcast, Holy Smoke and Mirrors. It's bold, irreverent, honest, and maybe a little mischievous. Search it on YouTube. Our colorful theme song video is already up. I just had to share that before we begin our activations. Any questions before we begin? Well, let's begin. If you can, close your eyes, breathe. Picture yourself beneath the surface of the sea, deep, vast, suspended. You've been here for a long time, floating, listening, dreaming. Now something stirs. A flicker of light appears. There's a pull upward. You rise. Pressure lifts. The past softens. The surface glimmers. Your head breaks through. You breathe. You see a golden shore ahead. This is your moment. This is your re-entry. You can finally see your North Star. What comes to mind? It's a good idea to write it down, to remember this feeling, to notice what you feel in your body. Is your heart full and warm and lifted? What are you feeling? Good. Okay. So, yeah, we're not just watching history. We're part of it. We're co-writing it with every breath, with our vibe, how we're going about our lives, every choice, every awakening. It's the how we're doing it. And I'm starting a Bloom immersive experience that I'm really excited about. It's the embodiment of from handmaid to heroine. It's the heroine's journey with a group of supportive women. It's where we go deeper. It's into the sacred, the seen, the sovereign you. What's blooming inside you is no longer to be held back. It rises, it softens, it leads. We practice being fully alive in this revolutionary energy. We do hot seats. We show up real. We hold space like ceremony, tender and true. It's bringing the truth, you bringing the truth of who you are and what you want, what's longing to be expressed that maybe you've been even a little bit ashamed about, not because it's shameful, but maybe because of the way you grew up or the culture you're in, it feels kind of, we won't own that part. We'll just put that part over there somewhere because people might not understand. And yet it's alive inside going and wants to be expressed in a way that makes sense and feels good. So if you would like to do that, let me know. Just reach out and get more information. I have a page up on my website, LoriRandallStradman.com. And I just want to thank you for, yes, and that was a picture with friends at South Beach. It was a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful weekend. Yeah. So thank you so much. If you have any questions, please just reach out. I have a special discount if you reference the spotlight activation. I'm wishing you the most wonderful, 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 wonderful next 14 years where Neptune will be moving through Aries. It is an extraordinary time to come alive and embody those dreams. Thank you.